Greetings. In today's episode, I attempted to make chocolate donuts, but not having a donut pan made it incredibly difficult. So instead we have a cookie brownie hybrid that tastes like a chocolate donut, and it's quite fantastic. Our ingredients for this consist of 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, 2 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of milk, and 1/2 cup of cream, light cream. Okay, here we are with our mixing bowl, and I'm just going to grab our sifter. I'm going to start sifting some of our flour in. Just about half of it or a third of it, I guess. And then we're going to start sifting some of our other ingredients. Going to start with the baking powder. Run that through the sifter. We don't want any clunks of that in there. And then the cocoa powder. My cocoa powder is a little bit on the older side, and I think it's clumped up quite a bit. So it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to go through the sifter. But with some persuasion with a fork, it begins to cooperate. Just using the fork to kind of break up the bigger pieces. It won't take very long, but eventually it will all go through. Now, the big lesson to learn from this is not to buy so much of an ingredient that it goes old and clumps up, because it is kind of a little bit of a pain. But it still all tastes fine, so I guess we're okay there. Now that we're just about done with that, we can start using our sifter for different things, such as the rest of our flour, and get all that incorporated into the mix. Now, it's about time we add the salt, and we'll give it a little bit of a quick stir. And then we can realize that we forgot to add the sugar, and then add our sugar to the mix. Great thing with sugar is it doesn't clump up, so I don't need to run it through that strainer. We'll just keep mixing that till our color is all consistent and we know it's good and combined. Now we can get our egg out and we can just beat our egg. Meanwhile, put your butter in the microwave and melt it. Perfect. So now we can start adding our wet ingredients to our dry. So we'll start with our butter, our egg, as well as our vanilla. And of course, the milk and the cream. Perfect. And now we just need to mix all this up. I really do recommend using a wooden spoon here like I'm using, because it doesn't absorb everything like a whisk would. And with a nice wide handle, it doesn't dig into your hand when you're mixing it. Of course, it would probably make more sense just to use an electric mixer, but it is what it is. And this stuff all stirs up pretty nice. It's kind of a sticky dough, which is kind of what ruined my attempt at making donuts, because when I went to touch it, it just like stuck to me, so that didn't really work out very well. So instead I opted for the double spoon method. So now with the double spoon method, you fill up both spoons and then you use one spoon to empty out the other spoon, and the other spoon to empty out that first one. And what we're going to do is we're just going to divide out all of the batter between 9 different, well, I guess they're like cookies. I really don't know what to call them, because it's not quite a donut. It tastes like a donut, and it's not a brownie because it's not in a brownie container, and it doesn't quite feel like a cookie, but it kind of technically is, I guess. I don't know. The nomenclature is kind of a pain for this. I was going to attempt to make a second batch, so I kind of cut the camera here a little bit early, but I ended up just cleaning out the bowl and just adding all of it to what I already had before sticking it into the oven. Now I cooked it for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees. The original recipe that I took this from, that I changed about 4 ingredients from, and the cooking technique, so it has little to resemble with its original recipe, was like 10 minutes. So maybe check it after 10 minutes with a toothpick, see how it is, see if it's all doughy inside, and if it is, cook it longer, because I really don't know how long this thing should cook, but I think mine took 20 minutes. I thought it would be nice to have a little bit of a glaze to them, So that's what I'm making here. So I just have 3/4 cups of powdered sugar, like icing sugar, and I'm just running it through the sifter to get rid of all the lumps in it. And then meanwhile in the microwave I got a couple tablespoons of milk, and I'm just heating that up so it's nice and hot. This type of icing is incredibly easy to make, and no matter what you're making you can probably put it on and it'll probably taste fine. Although I don't know about on roast beef, but I haven't tried that, so I can't confirm or deny whether that tastes good or not. So you just add a little bit at a time and then just keep mixing it. And eventually it starts to look icing-like, and once it's looking icing-like, then you can just pour it on the cookie brownie donuts that we just made. And I think it just adds a little bit of sweetness to the X-side, and it's quite good. Just kind of ladling it on. Oh yeah, looking good. Perfect. Well, that's the end of this one. So let me know if you have a donut pan and can try making these in a donut pan. See if it actually turns out properly. I would really like to know. And if you enjoyed this content and would like to see more of it, please like and subscribe. And until next time, stay awesome.